Sanders out here at the Bateman residence. We're getting ready to do a paver driveway slash walkway with some retaining walls. And right now is day one, is excavation of the existing concrete driveway. I actually took a swing at couple swings at breaking it to create a stress fracture in some of the concrete that they're doing, where they'll pull it up with a cat afterwards. So kind of a fun job. Today we're gonna just, like I say, it's gonna be a hot mess right now, but we're looking forward to showing you the finished product pretty soon.
I'm David once again with Earth Works out here at Atlantic Beach, doing another one of these driveways. Getting everything dirty, trying to keep it clean, get the concrete up, get the measurements all done, get the dirt out. We'll have a couple dumpsters showing up to throw the concrete in. Gonna be a bit of a mess. It was easy to pick up this time. It was all cracked apart, right? Usually we have to swing the sledgehammer at it or cut it with a saw. Fairly well poured, you know, thickness wise. I just think maybe it's the wrong type of concrete. There's a really small aggregate in this, really large aggregate in this. There seems to be a reasonable difference between the two. So I don't know. Pavers, you know what you're getting every time. Concrete driveway, you don't really know what you're getting. Our typical process, you know, we're gonna dig down a little over 2 inches, 2.5 inches for the pavers, another 6 inches for the crush. So about a total of 8.5 inches. And up at the front, up by the apron of the driveway, we're gonna dig a little deeper, around 10 inches. Give that a little extra support up by the curb, holds water, takes most of the stress when you're turning and whatnot. We're basically putting this driveway back in its same footprint, small extensions here and there. We'll accent walls next to the driveway too, which is sort of uncommon. A lot of walls going in. Just so you know, because we're just doing a driveway project this time, the driveway, the walls, any irrigation adjustments, anything that needs to be done to accommodate the driveway. But we're not doing a landscape. We don't have to do your landscape. We can just come do your driveway. We don't really care. We just want to work for you. We made these planter beds with the walls. They have a wall liner in them filled with dirt. We put sleeves into this one because he's gonna do some work in the future, maybe some lighting, some irrigation. So we left some infrastructure in there to handle that later on. Did change a little bit. We have these walls lining up with that step coming out. Just a nice clean straight line across the front. And really, if you backed up, what the idea was is just kind of have some walls come together, you know, visually come together without actually touching. In raised beds like this, you might have some infrastructure. I like to try and account for that. This is the most sort of drastic scenario where I've cut some large pipes in half, set them against the wall to retain dirt out of where you might need to, for example, run a shut-off handle there or run your dryer vent over there. It just so happens that stuff's in the way pretty often, but we'll find a way to account for it. Yeah, otherwise just a very straightforward front step. We took any complications out of it and just made a nice clean square area up front. So you can tell I just did a driveway recently where there was a lot of organic curves. This one has a lot of nice sharp edges, which, you know, it's just a preference, but looks really good out here. Around the side here we built some 4-foot walls. There's gonna be a gate, maybe a little addition of fence, not certain, but right here we're separating the driveway space from this backyard that they're building. It's always the small things, right? Sometimes with planning, you know, you draw things in that look beautiful but end up being very difficult, and you stick out the difficulty and you get to see the beautiful thing in person, and it's nice. And one of those things, just this corner here. These two little triangle corners. Nobody may ever notice them, but I look at it and I love it, so it makes me happy. So we have two quick examples here. How we retain our paver edges. So sometimes there's a hard border up against your house or up against a wall. It doesn't need extra retention there. This time actually, because we did the wall separate from the driveway at different times, this does have concrete under it, so this is never going to move. Your best bet is to have concrete under it and up against something hard, so it's never going anywhere. But we also do have options for a free edge like this, where you can choose from having your concrete on the side of the pavers, which I think is most common, but also is the most revealed. You see the concrete, and we have an option to put the concrete under the pavers. So we pick up each of these border pavers right at the end, we pick them all up, dig a trench, put the concrete down under the end of the pavers. That way, like a picture frame, your driveway, your patio is locked in from the outside with concrete that you don't see. So you can have plants, grass, grow right up to it, rocks, whatever, right up to it without ever having to see that concrete. So I know it doesn't look done. It's sort of an ongoing project for the homeowner, but we're coming to the end of our part here. Mr. Bateman's house in Atlantic Beach. We have completely tore out his old small driveway, the driveway that was going around the side of the house. He tore out the landscape, you know, saved us some time, saved him some money. He can just bring us in for what we're good at, and you can handle the rest with other people or yourself. And one of those things that we can do is install some infrastructure. Like when we do a driveway, we want to make sure it's not going to have to be dug up for some silly reason that's totally foreseeable. So one of those things is I've put in sleeves for irrigation to come through from all the infrastructure inside that wall. And I've put in sleeves to get under our walls and under our driveway with lighting wire, which he's planning on doing later. And of course, just wanted to make that easy on him. Even around the side of the house here under the pavers, you totally can't see it. You have to pick the pavers up to find it, but there is a junction box under there the electrical conduits come to. Super easy spot to mount your hardware, run your wires. Hopefully made it easy for him.